Well, it is very cold. Like I'm freezing, and every day I go back. Like I cannot feel my feet, and then I come back again. So it's hard.
All to get a job, right?
Right. Take like go on the street and get a job. This is my way to do it.
Xingying Yang wants a job so badly that she's pounding the pavement. Quite literally, too. For 1 week in December, this frustrated grad of commerce marketed herself using a sandwich board. She even offered up a free Christmas gift to those who took her resume.
So actually, I was joking with my friends. Say if I cannot get a job, I'll go on the street and see if I have any luck.
Xingyi's struggles are all too familiar to the recent graduate. In one hand holds the degree, the other one holds the resume, and they take their first steps into the real world. That is, if they can actually find work.
Stats Canada revealed that youth are 2.4 times more likely to experience unemployment. In fact, Ontario's youth with advanced degrees showed a 17.1% higher unemployment rate. So in a time where jobs are scarce and the stats are not in our favor, this next generation of workers are becoming a little more creative to land that first paying gig.
You gotta show initiative, and that's what you're doing, and it's gonna pay off in the long term.
Ray Wolf is a former guidance counselor who spotted Xingyi on the streets and loved her marketing tactic.
That she is showing incredible creativity and initiative, which is what any decent employer is going to be looking for somebody.
Xingyi became a media hot topic, gaining national attention and finally earning herself a job at a Toronto ad agency.
Actually, I received over 20 interview requests.
So they sought after you.
Yeah.
But Xingyi only represents a small group of Canada's working population. Here, we have a young and enthusiastic graduate with just the world at her fingertips. But what about those who've already established their working lives, but just in another country?
You do the corridor between Windsor and Toronto, that's El Salvador.
Really?
Yeah.
It's that big.
It's that small.
Meet Jose Villa, a loving husband and father who came to Canada in 2009. Jose was a doctor and a physician back in El Salvador. But none of Jose's credentials transferred over once he landed in Canada, and he's been trying to get recertified ever since.
We have a daughter, and she's been the light of my day every day, right? And whenever I feel that I was falling apart, right, I just her smile come to my mind, and that's it.
The gap between immigrants and Canadian-born workers is the biggest for those with a higher education. In Ontario, you're almost 5 times more likely to be out of work if you're an immigrant with a degree.
It was tough. It was tough because you're not used to that type of work, right? But you have to do what you have to do to give to your family the support they needed, right? So.
Economists have found that it actually hurts Canada when people's skills aren't fully exploited. In fact, a 2011 RBC study estimated that if immigrant wage gaps and unemployment were non-existent, then Canada would see more than $30 billion in additional earnings.
But immigrants aren't the only ones who are finding themselves underemployed. In fact, barriers also exist for those born within Canada, specifically for those living with a disability. Zach works in a kitchen. Lisa is a receptionist at a school. Both love their jobs, but have run into some problems due to their disabilities.
I think it's a barrier in everyday life. I mean, no matter if you're working or not, I've had some put downs because of my disability. I tried out for a summer job and they saw me come in the door and said, "We're not hiring you." And I asked them why, and they said, basically because you're in a chair.
Lisa has cerebral palsy and seizures. She uses a chair and has a service dog, but Lisa also has some amazing skills.
Last name is WORSFOLD.
forceful.
Lisa found Leeds Employment Services in London, Ontario, who matched her skills with a school for the deaf, where she now works as a receptionist and is thriving.
I've always wanted to work with the deaf since I was little. I always had the passion of helping someone else that can't communicate normally, helping them communicate the best way they can.
Lisa's lucky that she's found a job that utilizes her skills. But what about finding meaningful employment? Zach has been working in this kitchen for 10 years, but says that he's bright enough that he could have been a great university professor.
In fact, I've sat in on a few, history is my focus, but I remember a couple of years ago I sat in on a philosophy seminar, and it was a seminar for master's and PhD students in philosophy, and I could understand what they were saying perfectly fine. I belong in that sort of an environment instead of kind of a blue-collar type of job.
So there's something to be said about hiring a person with any sort of barrier. Whether you're a person living with a disability, a newcomer to Canada, or even just young and inexperienced, these people say that they are ready to work. But don't take it from me. Take it from those who live with it every single day.
Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it, because you might have to do it a different way, but you can still do it if you put your mind to it.
Don't judge a book by its cover. That's all I gotta say. I mean, give them a shot.
What are you gonna do with the poster?
Gonna keep it for an hour and maybe pass it on to my grandchildren, grandchildren.
Right? And tell them that this is how...
This is how a job can be fun.
For Fanshawe TV, this is Ashley Denuzzo.